Welcome to Fox One Gal Stories. This story I'm going to call Never Assume Anything. Then find the courage to ask some questions. Remember, I have no fancy title after my name or a paper that says I'm qualified to do this. So let's just call it a story. I am just sharing some ideas here, and they are there for the taking. Or please feel free just to turn this off. Have you ever assumed something? What happens when you do this? When I make assumptions, I really don't like the results I get. That is why I love to ask the questions. Others might get irritated with my questions, but no biggie. I'd rather be clear than a you know what. Since I know folks have lots and lots of ideas that are swimming around in their head, that it's better to ask for clarification than not asking. After a lot of self observation, I realized how many assumptions I was making. And of course, others do this all the time. We believe we know what someone says or what someone means or what they're thinking. But in reality, can we really know what that person has in mind? How many times have we been sure we understood what someone has said, only later look to us and swear they never said such a thing? How many times do you imagine all kinds of things because you made an assumption about a circumstance? If we don't ask, how will we know? Maybe give this a shot. The next time someone starts yelling at you out of the clear blue sky, take a deep breath. Step back. Don't say anything. Go into observation mode, as I like to call it. Or if you have to say something, just say thank you for bringing that to my attention. If you react to their outburst, then you're making it about you. And guess what you're showing when you're doing this? Understand this is not about you. It's their story, their issue. Can you really solve it for them? If you like drama, go ahead and do this. If not, then don't make up stories about why they're reacting. Isn't it nice to know you have no clue why they are doing what they are doing? Let them vent. You take a deep breath. You can choose not to react to what they are saying by stepping back. Let them vent. Then, maybe offer them a nice cold drink when they're done, or suggest they take a walk. Or you can always just walk away and say thanks for sharing. After all, if someone is having a bad day, who is really making their day bad? Their own mind or me? After all, once your mind tells you you are responsible, guess what you've just done? You made an assumption. Don't be afraid to take a look at how you define responsibility. It may be a good idea to take a look at this word and redefine it for you so that it can support who you are and the others around you. That brings me to this idea. Always do your best. Just doing your best can stop a lot of that self-judgment that goes on within us. If you're always judging or being critical about your actions, you'll never take a chance in life. Our fear of being victimized by our own mind will keep us locked into a life of mediocrity and boredom. The people who have the most interesting lives are the ones who really don't care what others think of them. How often have you beaten yourself up with your thinking because of something that we did or said? Most people will forgive our transgressions. I couldn't help but see I was harder on myself than anyone. Doing your best is not an excuse to become a control freak or do like 110% to try and impress others around you. I simply do my best because it works for me. I also understand that my best can change from moment to moment, day to day, depending how I am feeling or how much rest I have had. I just do my best in every moment, and once it's done, it's done. I detach from the situation. This isn't to say I don't review what I have done or take a look to what has transpired to see what I can learn from that situation. This still does take place. There is a huge difference between an honest evaluation and a mind lashing filled with insults and self-degrading commentary. If we know we have done our best, we can let go of some of those ideas that we have swimming around in our head and let them take a vacation, a permanent one. Refusing to accept some ideas that actually hurt oneself is, from my point of view, an act of self-love and self-respect. It means that we know we have done our best. My saying these days is always do your best and let go of the rest. If you have done your best, that was all you could have done, so you can let go of the rest. Here's something you might want to take a look at. I like to say we as humans have been domesticated to believe that we aren't worthy of love. I use domestication here because do you have pets? How do you train your pets? I like to call it a system of rewards and punishments. Kind of sounds like how I was raised. How about you? Then let's look at this idea that we might have in play. Some may like to call this perfection. It's like we're constantly racing for that proverbial carrot to become a winner, but it can never be obtained. As a child, a part of the silent agreement, as I like to call it, we don't really hear it verbally, but we know it's there, is about our lack of perfection. We feel like no matter how hard we try, we can never be what our parents or family or friend want us to be. Perhaps we're not good in school. Our siblings are always getting more praise than we are. There's a strong desire to be perfect, to meet everyone's idea of how we should be. Maybe the first definition of perfection could have come from our parents. We may have heard it, but maybe not verbally, but it was there. You have to be this perfect kid. If you are, then you will have a good life. What does it mean to be a perfect girl or boy? What if our parents' ideas about what's perfect are always in a state of flux? So, how could we as children live up to something that was constantly changing? Worse yet, as soon as we lived up to any certain degree of, quote, perfection, our parents may have set the bar even higher. Some children under that type of pressure succumb and agree they'll never be anything and become underachievers. Others go into rebellion and make silent agreements to fight everyone and everything, trying to keep their integrity. They become the black sheep in the family. That would be me. The rest of us keep trying to please that ever-growing demand of perfection by being a good girl or a good boy. The problem is that this type of perfection can never be attained. We can never live up to an idea, especially the one of perfection that's constantly shifting and ever increasing. Believe it or not, there is nothing external in life we must live up to. If we detach from this idea, trying to measure up to some idea of perfection outside of ourselves, our lives would look totally different. We could find peace and contentment in our lives, and maybe find some happiness. The most important thing I hope you can recognize here is that we've taken an idea or a concept of perfection and used it as a weapon to hurt ourselves. We've distorted the idea of perfection of the universe to make ourselves suffer. We are part of this vast, amazing universe. To me, it's insane trying to live up to some idea of perfection that society has set up for us and that we have agreed to. Having a 6-figure paying type job is pleasant, but if you have it, will you be perfect? If you have a Mercedes-Benz rather than a Buick, will you be perfect? These things are nice to have from a certain point of view, but they can't make us a better or worse person. Maybe others will envy our position or profession, but that's really their lack of self-worth speaking. Believe it or not, as humans we've been gifted with free will and choice. We can decide to use our expanding consciousness to move into a place of integrity, self-acceptance, forgiveness for ourselves and others. And we choose these acts, we are expressing who we really are. And that is the best we can do. Nothing more and nothing less. Until next time, Fox One Gal, over and out.